Just by way of background, you have Dr. Nam's bio in front of you, but let me just briefly mention he is now a research fellow in the International IT Corporation Research Division at the Korea Information Society Development Institute. He has in the past been, his main research interests are in trade liberalization and trade policy, APEC, East Asia trade, technical barriers to trade, and trade and development related issues. He earned his PhD in economics from the University of Pennsylvania and served as an advisor to the Ministry of at the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy of Korea on various trade policy issues. We think Dr. Nam is absolutely the right person to give us his views on the KORUS FTA in the automotive sector, and we're going to turn the program over to him. And hope you enjoy this, and we'll be back to talk with our discussants and just a little bit. Dr. Nam?
Thank you for your very kind introduction. Good morning. Actually, my presentation will be...
Let me have the excuse me. If you don't mind.
Okay. Thank you very much. My presentation will be mostly focused on trade data, and you might find that lots of statistics in my printed paper, and let me follow those informations throughout this presentation. And I'll give some background information as an introduction, and I'll also talk about some global view in automotive trade in world market, and then I'll focus on the two countries, Korea and the U.S. auto market in terms of international trade, and I'll talk about some potential effects from KORUS FTA on automotive sector, and then I'll draw some implications from the previous discussion. For auto industry, as you know well, is very dynamic and based on lots of investment as a scale economy dominant industry, and it is also very closely related to various other manufacturing sectors such as steel and some electronics and also some other fabrics and so on. And nowadays the world automotive industry, including U.S. auto industry, is experiencing severe structural changes in terms of market share by major manufacturers is changing rapidly, and it also is also experiencing lots of changes in technical terms, such as some energy efficiency or environmental friendliness, or some IT-based driver information or safety specifications in automotive product. And in terms of Korea and U.S. trade, we need to consider some potential effect from free trade agreement between the two countries. And I suppose lots of trade concerns from U.S. side toward the Korean auto import market will be generally solved throughout the free trade agreement by eliminating tariff barriers and also alleviating some domestic tax burdens and some technical regulations on emission standard. There were two contending arguments in Korean automotive markets and in imported automobiles. That is consumer perception. There exists some consumer perception against imported auto market in Korea versus there is no more such barriers in Korea, and current situation is largely from market competition. There's two contending arguments between Korea and U.S. side. And this paper is mostly focused on at the later part on these issues by way of model simulation to measure what kind of effect we can expect from the improvement of consumer perception for imported automobiles in Korean market. And then let me talk about general view in world automobile industry in terms of world trade. World exports in 2005 is around $1 trillion US dollar. That explains about 9% of world merchandise exports in the same year. And by country share, Germany took around 19% of world total exports in automobiles, and Japanese took 14%, and then US 9%. For Korea, it took 8th position of its share in world market, is around 4%. This is value terms. So if you take some number of units, the position might be somewhat different, as we saw in previous presentation by Dan or in other terms. So this is in value terms, and if we see world imports by country in automobiles, the U.S. share in world imports of automobiles is around 23%, and then Germany 7.6%, and UK 6.6%, Canada 6%. So we might see quite different shares by country between export and import. That's the situation in global market. And overall, a few countries explain the major share. I mean, top 3 to 4 countries explain around 40% or 50% of world total exports or imports in the global market. So if we further divide the automotive sector, the major part might be passenger cars, and the other one might be parts and accessories. So we can divide by those two subcategories. And by country, Germany, Japan, France, and Korea is largely export-oriented in global market in both subcategories. And for the U.S., UK, Netherlands might be import-oriented in both subcategories. And then the other group, Canada, Belgium, Spain, Mexico, and Sweden, might be export-oriented in passenger cars, and also they are import-oriented in parts. That's the general picture of world trade in automotive sector. And in terms of net trade index, or so-called trade specialization index, in recent year, Japan is around 80, and also Korea is around 80, so they are quite specialized in export in automotive sector. And the other side, the US is minus 42, UK minus 23, so they are quite import-oriented in automotive sector. That's the picture. In terms of revealed comparative advantage, that is based on actual export-import performance in recent year. For Japan, Spain, Germany, Canada, Mexico, France, Sweden, and Korea, they are